The years have been kind to the city. It wears its age like fine wine, with character and charm. Neon lights twinkle against a backdrop of aged brick buildings, old enough to remember when the city was young. Not allowed, though. That would bring unwanted attention. He keeps his thoughts close, hidden behind a facade of nonchalance. He's just here for the conference, he tells himself, meeting old friends, catching up on lost time. The vintage arcade where her laughter had been the soundtrack, the record store where they talked for hours over a shared love of vinyl. A shared joke echoes in her mind, one that only they understood, born out of a silly misunderstanding during their first week at university. The grand old clock tower chimes, its bells weaving through the urban symphony, marking the minutes, marking the years that have marched relentlessly forward. And in this timeless city, amidst the evolving landscape, their story unfolds anew. The city seems to hold its breath, the hum of conversation fading into the background, as if the universe itself is orchestrating a reunion. As he steps inside, his gaze falls upon an old, worn-out photo album resting on a shelf. A lone musician plays a battered guitar, his voice resonating with a melancholic beauty that stirs something deep within her. The gnarled old oak tree stands as a silent sentinel, its leaves rustling secrets only it can keep. Drawn by an inexplicable force, she finds herself standing before the old oak tree, its branches reaching towards the sky like welcoming arms. He stops short, his breath catching in his throat. She's standing beneath the old oak tree, bathed in the golden glow of the setting sun, her hair catching the light like spun gold, her eyes fixed on some distant horizon. The setting sun paints the sky in hues of orange and purple, mirroring the turmoil of emotions that course through him. He takes a step forward, then another, his heart hammering against his ribs. She doesn't move, doesn't speak, her eyes locked onto his. A jolt runs through her, a mixture of surprise, of longing, of emotions too intense to comprehend. In that silence, a lifetime unfolds, their shared laughter, their whispered promises, their tearful goodbyes. Will she be here? Can she feel the magnetic pull that's drawing him closer, closer to a reunion he's both dreaded and yearned for all these years? Time stands still. The city holds its breath. All that exists is the space between their hands, between their hearts, between their unspoken words. The song ends, and as the last notes linger in the air, she recognizes the tune. It's the song they danced to at their prom, a night of swirling gowns and stolen kisses beneath a canopy of twinkling lights. The memory surfaces, vivid and bittersweet, pulling her from her reverie. For a moment, the city fades away, the bustling crowds, the honking cars, the cacophony of daily life. They just pause. In that instant, the years meld away, the awkward pauses, the unspoken words, the lingering questions. All that's left is the raw emotion, the flood of memories, the rush of feelings long dormant. All that matters is this moment, this unexpected reunion, the echo of a love that refuses to stay buried. It isn't theirs, but as he flips through the faded photographs, he sees glimpses of their own story in the smiling faces, in the whispered secrets, in the echoes of a laughter that once filled his world. He remembers the exact moment when he first fell in love with her, the way her eyes crinkled at the corners when she laughed, the dimple that bloomed on her left cheek. Those memories are his treasures now, carefully collected, closely guarded in the quiet chambers of his heart. Each place a shrine to a love that once bloomed brightly, fiercely in the heart of this city. But there's a ghost in his step, a shadow in his smile, a constant ache in his chest where her absence makes its home. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee draws her into a small, cozy cafe tucked away on a quiet side street. The bell above the door tinkles merrily as she enters, announcing her arrival to the few scattered customers. Lost in thought, she doesn't notice the man at the far corner table, his eyes following her every move. He's been watching her from afar for days now, hesitant to approach, afraid to shatter the illusion that's been keeping him sane all these years. Street lamps illuminate rain-slicked cobblestones where laughter and secrets used to echo. And somewhere in this city of timeless beauty, two souls unknowingly trace the path of their shared past. He walks through this city, through the city they once knew so well, every corner whispering her name. She sits by a cafe window, stirring her coffee, watching the steam curl and dance like memories. The warmth of the drink mirroring the flush of color creeping up her neck. Yet the city holds their story like an old photograph, each street corner, each quaint cafe holding a memory, a whisper of their shared past. The scent of cinnamon and cloves drifts from an open bakery door, bringing back the memory of a shared pastry, of laughter echoing in this very spot. A laugh that was music to his ears. How had he forgotten the melody? She hadn't realized how cold she was until she felt the heat of his eyes on her. Startled, she looks away, her heart stirring even more than the spoon is, even more than the autumn wind outside that rattles the dry leaves along the pavement. Could it be? She turns back to find him gone. Was it really him? Disappointment washes over her, leaving a hollowness that nothing but a strong Americano can fill. Years have passed since last they met, since last they spoke. As he walks, he traces the path of their first date, the movie theater with its faded grandeur. She lingers in doorways, lost in thought, eyes fixed on some distant point beyond the bustling crowds. The city around them shifts, evolves, yet these fragments of their shared past remain, untouched, unmoved by the passage of time. Their paths begin to align, unknowingly guided by an unseen force, drawing them together again. He watches her sit down, feeling the pull of familiarity like a half-forgotten dream. In another part of the city, he finds himself drawn to a bookstore, its windows invitingly lit, promising a haven from the bustling streets. Suddenly, a melody drifts from an open doorway, pulling her towards it. He walks past the bookstore, drawn by an invisible thread to a nearby park, a place they frequented during their courtship. She walks past the cafe, the bookstore, the arcade, each location anchoring a piece of her heart to this city. Time seems to stretch and bend as he turns the corner, his heart pounding a frantic rhythm against his ribs. She doesn't hear his footsteps on the gravel path, doesn't turn to see the awestruck look on his face as he takes in the sight before him. Slowly, hesitantly, she turns, her eyes searching his, finding their familiar depths. A single tear escapes, tracing a path down her left cheek. He reaches out, his hand hovering inches from hers. He touches her hand, his fingers tracing the lines of her palm as if memorizing their topography. And in that moment, the city comes alive again. The distant hum of traffic, the murmur of evening strollers, the city noises blend into a symphony of their own, a testament to the enduring power of their bond. The years fall away, leaving only the raw essence of their connection, the unspoken words, the lingering emotions, the memories that have bound them together through the passage of time. The text on screen reads, "Some stories never end."